Did Bayern Munich more win this match, or did Dortmund lose it?
I think Bayern won it, and I thought their tactics were absolutely spot on. I thought Lucien Favre's wasn't. When I seen the team lineup come in, and I had the feeling leading up to the game, he had to take a chance in midfield. He had to take a chance on Axel, Witsel and Emre Can, stiffen up that midfield. Mahmoud Dahoud and Thomas Delaney are very, very good players, but the man that's probably carried them most in terms of having that steal has been Axel Witsel all season. Now, I know he's been carrying a little knock, but in my opinion, I think if you go with Can and Witsel, I think you get more out of those two. You can maybe take it to an hour mark and you can try and hang on if you're leading. But apart from that, it just seems to be in Dortmund's DNA. When I've watched them over the years under Thomas Tuchel, under Peter Bosch, and now in Lucien Favre, they can't win the very biggest games, and that's against Bayern. In the last 11 home games against Bayern, Dortmund have only won 4, Bayern have won 5, and they've drew twice. So a little bit like Leipzig, if you're going to catch Bayern Munich, you have to be beating them at least once a season. You can't be losing twice. And I thought Bayern were comfortable. I thought Dortmund started the game. Bayern's line was high in the first 15 minutes. And there was a couple of little chances for Dortmund to maybe nick one. But the more the game went on, and after Kimmich's chip, which I thought it was a sensational chip, but again, Roman Bürki at the very highest level seems to let Dortmund down. And then the more the game went on, Bayern took control. They kept hold of the ball. They kept possession. And they played really well. It was a professional performance away from home, and that's put them 7 clear, and that's 8 in a row. No one's going to catch them now this season. The title is done.
Yes, absolutely. I agree with Don. Definitely Bayern go on. They won the game. They did what was necessary. It certainly wasn't flashy, but it was professional, and they got it done. As for Dortmund, you know, they really only have themselves to blame. You know, Don's talking about, and I heard Craig talking yesterday, we're all talking about who didn't play. You know, Don's on about Witsel. Craig was on about Can, and particularly Jadon Sancho, and I'm 100% on the Jadon Sancho one. You know, when it comes to a big game, and as coaches, when it comes to a cup final and somebody's 50-50, you take the chance. When you have to win, you take the chance. And Favre didn't take the chance in Sancho. And I don't understand what he's got against this kid. I'm sure this kid wants to get away. You know, all season long he started. I mean, he got substituted in the first game against Bayern when he lost 4-0. Now he's not even playing. This guy, if this guy's got any brains, he needs to get away from Favre. But I would say, the one thing I still can't figure out from this game is, just because Dortmund took a quick corner, they don't go back to the VAR. I mean, regardless of whether it's a quick corner or not, it's a penalty kick. It's actually 100% penalty kick. And regardless of what's happened straight after that, when the ball went out of play, they should have gone straight back, and it would have completely changed the game, in my opinion. It would have meant Dortmund could have got a head of steam up and maybe gone on and win the game.
Well, that's not just a question for this match, but it's a question, as Don alluded to, that you can ask over a sequence of matches. And you have to go all the way back to the Jurgen Klopp era with Borussia Dortmund to really evaluate and analyze the things that did they right back then, and they were able to overtake Bayern Munich back then. What you see from Dortmund now is that it's a good team. It's a fun team to watch. There's a lot of skillful players out there. There's a lot of talent, and there are a lot of players that like to play in space and in open areas, and there's transition. And what you find from them is that, yes, they're very entertaining, but there are moments in big games in which it's not so much about the entertainment value. It's not so much about open play. It's not so much about the skillful players in 1v1 situations. Is how does this team control a match? And at no point yesterday was Dortmund in control of the match. Even when they were creating opportunities, Bayern was the one that was dictating the pace at which this game was going to be played. They slowed it down when they wanted to. They sped it up when they wanted to. And if you want to speed it up, there's no better than Alphonso Davies down the left-hand side, because everybody's trying to catch him, and good luck with that. There is a pattern of play that Bayern was able to put out over the course of 90 minutes, and Dortmund just kind of fell into that trap. And so if it is about quality of plays, if it is about the quality of possession of the ball, the rhythm with which they play, and the pace with which they play, Bayern was superior in every facet of that against Borussia Dortmund. For me, Borussia Dortmund is unable to establish themselves on the field in a key moment, in a key match, and really establish who they are. And so they started looking at each other and said, well, what is that guy going to do? What is Jadon Sancho going to do off the bench? Is Erling Haaland going to give us a goal? And while you're waiting for everybody else to do the job, Bayern Munich still knocking the ball around and controlling the game away from home.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.